Come, let's start.
Okay. All right. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. So we're back. Actually, today's Easter. So happy Easter, everybody. And I'm very excited that we're going to start our Easter program with none other than Viola Marks-Kelly. And she's one of the most beautiful dancers that I have seen. And she dances for Baba all the time. So, and we're going to start our the program with prayers, and then you'll get to listen to her share stories about her, interaction with the mandali, specifically Mehra, and and any other information we can extract from her. I'm sure she'll be happy to share. All right, Jai Baba, everyone. So, should we start with the Pravartigar prayer? Manogna, do you want to start off?
Yes. You want to start, Marish? You have.
Okay. How about you help mommy? Because mommy doesn't really know how to read it.
Just help me, okay? Come, let's start. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Start.
O Parvatigar, the
preserver
preserver
and protector of
all.
all. You are without beginning and
without
end,
end,
non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere. You are in everything, and you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future, and you are knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parameshwar. You are the beyond God and the beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yazda, Ahur Mazda, and God the Beloved. You are named Izzat, the only one worthy of worship.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys did a very good job. Manya, would you like to say the repentance prayer?
Sure. We repent, O God, most merciful, for all our sins, for every word, for every thought that was false or injustice or unclean, for every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken, for every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repeat, for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent most especially for every lustful thought and every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially, we repent for every action that has brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain. In your unbounded mind, for every wish that pain should be befallen others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failures to think and speak and act according to your will.
Thank you. Okay, who wants to say the beloved God prayer? Go ahead.
Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and still and more and more, and still and more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to the Baba's Daman till the very end. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you, Jai Baba. All right. So we have Srinidhi and Shrinika. Hello, everybody. If we want to do a quick round of introductions so that Viola, oh, let me stop sharing so we can see. Viola can get to learn about you guys real quick. So Meheranshi, we got to know you, so welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Manya, do you want to quickly tell Viola about yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Manya.
Hi, Manya.
Hi.
Manya, where do you live?
Denver.
All right. And how old are you?
8.
8. Great. And Meheranshi, how old were you? We forgot to ask you that.
I'm 7 years.
Awesome. All right. Okay. We're on to Srinidhi.
Manya is my cousin.
Nice. So this is a family event now. We can't hear you, Srinidhi.
Jai Baba, dear Srinidhi, can you hear us?
Oh.
Namaste. आप कैसे हैं? So happy to see you.
We still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. So I can try. Okay, Manya, do you, while she's figuring it out, do you want to tell us a little bit about Srinidhi, since you know her so well, and Shrinika?
Sure.
Srinidhi is what, 13 now? 14?
14
14, yeah. And she also lives where?
in Denver.
Yeah. And what about Shrinika?
She is 9 and she also lives in Denver.
Yeah, so they're siblings. And then we got to meet Meheransh and Manogna. I forgot the other one's name. I'm so sorry.
Meheransh and Meherish.
Meherish. Okay. Which one's which again? This one's Meheransh?
This is Meherish.
Okay.
Meheransh, come on.
Yeah, listen, boys, we need to see you. Otherwise, we won't know who we're with. Okay, how old are they?
Shilpa, how old are you?
I'm 5.
You're 5. What about your brother?
Brother is 6.
6. Nice. Okay. And then we have Sahana. Sahana is 13 and she is my daughter. And I believe, Viola, you have seen her a few times, probably at
Yes,
the Baba.
I have.
Yes, yes. So I think now that we're all here, and we'll just get started, with your talk. And so, guys, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and then I will, interrupt Viola and let her know that you have a question. Oh, Anita's here. Hi, Anita. Jai Baba. Hello. We were just doing some quick intros, so we will, like to get the program started. we can do the intros at the end as well when there's any questions. All right. Viola, you have the floor.
Well, Jay Baba, Baba's beautiful kids are just so good to see you. So happy to be with you. And I know you probably all know a little bit about Mara, and I just wanted to hold this beautiful picture of Mara up for you so you can see how beautiful Baba's Mara is. Isn't she lovely? Have you seen other pictures of her? Yeah. And Miranshi, you were sharing the story about Mara's tree. Do you know the story? Would you like to share it with everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Go right ahead. We're listening.
Mara saw from her window Baba's image is from tree. Is on the tree. Up to Baba dropped his body.
Very nice. Do you guys remember seeing that tree when you went to Mehrabad or Mehrazad rather?
Yes.
Yeah.
Merazad.
I'm just seeing if there's a picture here.
I'm gonna share. I just found one.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. At least I thought I did. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. I'm gonna share the screen real quick. So go ahead, Viola. You can continue and I'll share the picture.
All right. I don't know if you all heard, well, I had heard when I was younger, Mani telling the story of the tree. And then years and years later, I had forgotten the story, but years and years later, I watched a video. There was Mani telling the story, and there I was listening. So, would you all care to hear what Mani had said, best as I can remember it? Would that be okay? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh, great. Well, the story started back in the 1950s at Marazad. And a woman, maybe from Switzerland, I can't remember who, had come to visit Baba. Now, you may remember or you may not have known that Mara never heard for a while a man's name or voice, or even saw a man for many, many, many years. Many, many years. She saw no men, didn't hear their voices, and for some years she didn't even hear their names. So she didn't really know who the Mandali were, and she and the women and the men were very separate. And the men were not to look at Mara, and of course Mara would not like to look at the men. Although Mara, of course, loved Baba. So do you all know what there, isn't that beautiful? So do you all know that Baba said about Mara that she loves me as I should be loved? And she is the only soul in the universe who loves Baba as he should be loved. So Baba said, and he said that Mani said that Baba took such immaculate care of Mara that no dust of the world would fall on the immaculate mirror of her clear and pure heart, which reflected Baba perfectly, as no other heart. So now we fast forward to the 1950s, and a woman has come to Marazad. And Baba, being the gracious host, he's the best host naturally of the entire universe. There's nobody more gracious and generous and kind and loving, accepting as Baba. So he's showing this European woman around the garden. And Mara knows that she's there, and Mara knows that he's going to be showing her the garden. And Mara also knows that Mandali will be with Baba, translating Baba's words. So she's not to be seen by a man, but she wants to see Baba. So picture a room, and there are windows. And looking out of that room through the windows, Mara can see the garden. There's also a doorway at the far end of the room. So picture the doorway, and you know how there's a little space beside a doorway where you can hide? Yeah? So Mani shares the story that when this woman was going through the garden, Mara, wanting to see Baba with her, but not to be seen by the men, stood in that little space, and Mani stood behind her. And they're peeping out, not to be seen. And Baba comes through the garden, and he's standing by that very tree. This is how Mani told the story that I heard twice. So, from Mani. So, of course, they're standing there and they're craning, and Mani, just for a moment, she's not paying attention. This is what Mani said, just for a moment, just a second. But Mara, who Baba had described, and also Ms. Krask had told me she had one pointed concentration. So her one pointed concentration missed nothing. Just that one moment, Baba was there and patted that very tree and turned to the woman. Oh, I like this tree. Now, the tree had been considered problematic. It was a problem because it was right in the view. And it wasn't a very beautiful tree with gorgeous flowers. And there are many trees like it. It was an Umar tree. So, Mara was surprised. And also Mara turned to Mani, did you see? And Mani didn't see. So Mara told Mani what she saw. Fast forward again. Now, imagine you love your mother, you love your father, you love your sisters, brothers. You can't imagine living without them. Imagine that. This is how Mara loved Baba. Yes, Shri Meher. Did you want to say?
Umar tree?
It's a sacred tree, I was told, in India, and it's associated, if somebody can remind me, I have heard, but I don't quite remember, but it's associated with spirituality in some way. But
Ow.
I wish I could remember. It's been a while since I've told these stories.
I'll look it up in the meantime. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So if you think what it is for your heart to pain, right? So Baba, her father, her mother, her best friend, her everything has left. His body has been put in the ground and she can't see him anymore. And she wept and she grieved and she missed him horribly. And she felt, has he forgotten me? In July, this was after the Mandali had greeted all of these people from across India, all of these people from the West in Baba's name. Now they're back at Marazad. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to be. Baba is gone. Mara thinks Baba's forgotten me. Mara was so sad that even people had to say, Mara, please eat. Mara, please walk. And Baba, you all know Baba broke his hips. Yes, his hip. So one thing he did to recover was he would walk from that window that we're talking about in Mara's room, because there's a straight walk right through to the end of the kitchen, through the living room area. He'd walk him back and forth for his strength. So the ladies would encourage Mara at this time to exercise. And as Mara was walking one day, because she wanted to please Baba, Baba wanted us to keep our health, our strength, to be happy. So she's walking. And as she gets to the window, she has a surprise. And you all know what the surprise is, don't you? Did someone want to tell me what's the surprise she had?
It's Meher Baba's face.
Yes, she saw Baba's face, and what did she feel? She felt Baba remembers me. Baba loves me. Baba is always here. He's never gone away, and he'll never go away. So she didn't right away tell the others, but she brought Mani and said, Mani, look. And at first, Mani didn't see Baba's face, but then she saw Baba's face. Then Dr. Goher and Mehru and this one and that one. And eventually the men were told and the villagers were told. And people came from far and wide because they felt it was a miracle to see Baba's face. And would you say it's a miracle of love? Maybe? You think so? From Baba's love? Yes, for his Mara and all of us to see. Yeah. So that's a story about the tree and about Mara. And are there any stories or any questions you want to hear about? All right. Would you like to hear some of Mara's words? So I've shown a picture of Mara. And when she was 14, very young, I think that's the year she met Baba. And then when she came to stay with Baba in 1924, she was 17. She was 17 when she came to stay with Baba. And, she stayed with her mummy and Baba and a few other ladies. Yes. And Baba gave her this to memorize. Would somebody, if I put it up here, would somebody be able to read it and like to read it, or is it backwards?
I'd like to read it.
Would you read it then?
Once and for all, make the resolve that everything is God's and nothing is mine. Let that be your resolve. In me there is nothing of mine. Whatever there is yours. Having made over to you what is yours, what concern have I with any of it?
Very good, because I think it showed up backwards. I'm very impressed. Well done. Well done. Did you know that by heart?
No, it wasn't really upside down, so
Oh, good, good. Well, you did a great job. So imagine Mara's the only person who 100%'s done that. So think about those words. Everything that I own, everything that I am has nothing to do with me. It's all Baba's. And see that there's a lovely little picture of Baba back there. Yeah. And he looks like he's happy with us. He loves us. Happy we're here. So, you know who Mani is, you guys? Do you guys know who Mani is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mayor Naki.
Mani is Baba's sisters.
And did you know she was much younger than Mara?
Yeah.
She's much younger than Mara. So that very poem, when Mani came to stay with Baba and be with Mara also, Mara taught that poem to Mani. So Mani memorized it too. And I think someday I shall. It's something you might like to do too. So, you know, my parents met Baba. Yes. And my mummy met Baba and Mara. Oh, so did my dad. They both met Mara too. But my mommy met Mara too when she was quite young. And the year that my parents met Baba together, Mara was not there. And this was 1956. And you know that Baba came to America then? Do you all know that? In 1956? He flew. He flew from India to landed in New York in 1956, and my parents together met him there. There they are. They were married, I think in 53. So they met Baba 3 years later. That's my mommy and that's my daddy, just a few years before they met Baba. When Baba came to America, there they are when they were older. And when Baba came to America, they had both met Baba, but Baba asked Mara to send a message, to write a message that he would bring and have it read out for everyone in 1956. Would you like to hear Mara's message? Or would somebody else like to read it? Would somebody like to read this? Can you see it all right? Is that Meher Mano? Did you want to read it? Is your hand up? Would you like to read it? No?
We have a shy group here.
Okay.
Shrinika, would you like to read it?
Yeah.
Read it.
Meranshi, would you like to read it?
Go ahead, Shrinika.
Oh, Shrinika. I didn't see Shrinika. Sorry.
I'll read it. It's fine. I can read it. May I always be blessed by your company. I want your company at every moment of my life, and only in your cause should this body be sacrificed. O you, the infinite one, have infinite attributes. Do not be indifferent to me. O Meher Baba, Guru of Gurus, I ask nothing but this last wish. I don't ask for God or for God realization or powers of authority. My only wish is please don't be indifferent to me.
Beautiful reading. I'm so sorry I can't see you. I'm going to see if I can't figure out how to see you. Hold on. Ah, there you are. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. So Mara loved Baba over everything. Yes? Over everything. And she's our example of how to love Baba. And Baba loved Mara in a way to give an example of how one should love also. So Mani said of Baba that Mara was both Baba's beloved, like his dearest one, and also his child. And Mara's asking us, love Baba first and most. Now, let's see. Would you like to hear the story of a little bit about my mother's first meeting with Mara, since we're speaking of Mara? Would you like to hear that? So, You must have heard stories of people meeting Baba and how they were just so happy when they would meet Baba. They'd feel so relieved in his company in so many ways. So my mother met Baba, but also people sometimes met Baba and they were overwhelmed, just overwhelmed. They would weep because their heart was so touched. You all know who Meru is? Anyone know who Meru is? No? Well, she was Mara's niece, and she came to America with Baba and Mara and Mani and Dr. Gohair. And Meru told me my mother was a dancer. She was a ballet dancer when she first met Baba. And she told me when she met Baba, she was stunned. You know how you're supposed to wear your shoes outside? You should wear your shoes outside. Yeah. My mom had a habit of forgetting her shoes. She had that habit. And she met Baba. And particularly in Myrtle Beach, Baba had said everyone should wear shoes because there are what? Snakes? There are snakes. So you want shoes on to be protected. But my mom, she met Baba in the barn in Myrtle Beach. And she was dazed, she told me. She didn't know up from down. She was just very, very young, you know, like just out of being a teenager, just out of being a teenager, very young. She's dazed. She meets Baba. She goes out of the barn, forgets to put her shoes on, and walks through the woods dazed. Now, nobody was supposed to walk through the woods, so they had to go chase her and find her, bring her back. And then all the dancer women. Now, for the girls, sometimes ballet dancers are very beautiful. They're very slender and they put on beautiful makeup and they make graceful motions, they're very beautiful. So these are young, beautiful women, and they're going to meet Mara in the guest house. And my mother Meru told me that when they came, they were all fainting. These young women were fainting and weeping, and they're just overcome by the beauty. And my mother said this about Mara. When your mother loves you in a way that's so gentle, so loving, she's got her full attention on you. There's so much love, so much gentleness. Mara was that always. And my mother said she never met a more beautiful, a more gentle woman. It almost took my mother's breath away, how beautiful Mara was. In 1956, she was still young woman. And so that's a little bit about my mother meeting Mara. Do you guys have any questions about Mara? I met her. I can answer any questions you might have if you have.
I'm just quickly showing the picture of Meru and you.
Oh, there's Meru. This is Meru who had told me about the women, including my mother, meeting Mara.
Viola, if I remember correctly, I think even Tom Riley forgot his shoes, right? And walked away. I have to check with Kathy. Yeah.
People were walking into trees and were just overwhelmed by Baba's love, So
I think Manya, did you have a question? I saw your hand raised.
Yeah. It was in the picture. I had a question, which was Meher and which one was the other person?
Both.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, that one.
That's Meru.
Okay.
That's me when I was a little younger.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the other picture of Meru was when Meru was younger, and I was younger still. So the other picture had both Meru and I also. So would you like to see? I'm on the far left, and a woman named Joyce is in the purple pants, and Meru's in the blue top. That's Meru, Mara's niece. Yeah. So would you like to hear about my meeting with Mara?
Quick question is, would you tell us about your first meeting with Mehra?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I had just turned 20, so I just stopped being a teenager. I don't know if there are any teens here, but I just stopped being a teenager. And at that time in my life, my heart was very full. I was very happy. I had no wants. And a friend just kept telling me, go to India, go to Mehrabad, meet the Mandali. And why? Baba's in our hearts. Baba's in your heart, each of you. He's in your heart. He's in my heart. Baba's in our hearts. Why go anywhere? That's how I felt. Yeah. Even though I was going to Myrtle Beach quite a bit because I could feel Baba's presence so strongly there. Anyway, I said, well, I'll go for a day. I'll just go for a day. I'll bow down at Baba's Samadhi, come home. I didn't know anything that was happening. And when I arrived there, I was young. So people were just saying, go here, go there. And I arrived at Marazad. I didn't know much about it. I knew very little about Mara. I had heard her voice on a recording, and that voice was so beautiful, so gentle. It just made tears come down my face. That's how beautiful Mara's very voice was. If you can imagine that beauty. Yeah. And Baba's voice. No. Of course, Mara could speak about it. And it was even the most beautiful of voices. And he would sing most beautifully. So I'd heard Mara's voice and my heart had been moved. And before I went to India, my mother, who'd been a dancer, was connected with one of Baba's Western Mandali ladies called Miss Krask, who was a dance teacher. And I would visit Miss Krask because she was sort of like an elderly auntie to me. So I'd visit her anytime in New York. And before going to India, I visited her. And she told me, when you go to India, everyone will tell you what to do, but you don't listen to anybody because Baba is the only one to tell you what to do, except Mara. Whatever Mara says is like Baba saying it. So I had that in my mind. All right, I come to Marazad for the first time. How many of you have been to Marazad?
We've got a good number of people.
Oh, fabulous. So you know what it's like to come around, there's the blue bus the caravan, as you come into the garden, right? In Mandali Hall in the caravan. I came through there. The year was 1977. It was early in September. And I came out, and there's that beautiful garden, yes? But in those years, Baba had still been, not long since Baba dropped the body, the love was just pouring out. And I was dazed, just like my mom had been dazed. I was dazed. And across what looked like a huge garden, there was a porch. And as I'm looking out, I see the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And a wave of love came. And my eyes, they're glued on the porch. Then another more beautiful woman came out, and this huge wave of love came. Somehow, I don't remember doing it. I walked across the garden and was standing on the porch. And there were about 5 women at the time. And Mara was sitting in that little bench. She wasn't in that chair. She was on that little bench. You know where that bench is? Underneath the window that looks out to the garden. She was on that bench, and Meru was beside her. These 2 most beautiful women. And there were a few chairs around. And there was chit-chat about ordinary life, chit-chat about this, about that, about flowers, about food, about this, about that. And then Mara turned and she said, in the most gentle voice, just like my mother said, she said, I don't know everyone's name. So there was a mother and a daughter, and they introduced themselves. And then Mara looked at me. Now, my given name is Wyatt. And I was named for my grandmother, who was a great lady who lived in a grand house with pillars. And she was a great lady. She had people working for her, you know, who did the cleaning, who did cooking, who did driving, who did this, who did that. So, so I was named for her. Yeah. And I'm looking at Mara. And she's looking at me waiting. So I say, why? Mara said, Violet? And again, I got up my voice a little bit. Remember, I'm dazed. So I said, Wyatt. And Mara said, Violet? And then one girl, you know, sometimes we feel bold. She was very bold. The atmosphere was very delicate, but she was very bold. And she said, Wyatt, like Wyatt Earp. Oh, I was so shocked. She was my friend, but, you know, I was shocked. And so Mara looked at me and she said, that's a boy's name? I said, yes, Mara, yes. She said, may I call you Violet? So I told you about my grandmother, this great woman in this big house, people doing things for her. Well, Violet would have been the name of someone doing things for her, you know, a servant. And it just went through my mind like that. I didn't say anything, but it just flashed through my mind. And in that very moment, Mara said, or Viola. And I always wanted a girl sounding name. And it sounded so musical and so beautiful. But imagine being in Mara's presence or Baba's presence. Their presence is everything. And so Mara's presence was everything. So I said, not because Miss Crass told me, but not because I remembered anything, but because of Mara's very beauty, her very presence. I said, whatever you want, Mara. And she said, I'll call you Viola. Oh, my heart's desire, a name that sounds like a girl's name. After all, I was a girl. Yes? And then, oh, chatting continued. And the mother and the daughter had a Polaroid camera. Do you know what that is? It's an old-fashioned camera where you take the picture and the picture develops in the camera. So you count 15 and then you pull out the picture. It's all developed, but it's not in your phone. It's a photograph. So they wanted pictures of themselves with Mara. Yes. And I was very shy. I was very overwhelmed. And they took some pictures and I thought, oh, I would love a picture of myself with Mara. That's what I thought. Wouldn't you? if you were sitting there. You'd want your picture with Mara, but I didn't have a Polaroid camera and I was too shy to ask. And Mara looked at the pictures and she's, Mara had the ability to care for everybody's feelings. Like, I don't have that ability. But she would never hurt anyone's feelings because she had so much love. And because Baba imbued her with so much graciousness and so much awareness through her love. So she wouldn't want to hurt the people who took the picture, right? No. But you also wanted to please me, yes? Because I'm sitting there, even though I didn't say. And she looks at one picture and she said, oh, that's not a very good picture. And the other two look at the picture, they agree. But she knows I want a picture of myself with her. So not to hurt their feelings. She says, oh, it's not a very good picture, you think? Oh, no, no. So she gives me the picture. And I have that picture until this day, a picture of myself with Mara, the very first time I met her. And that's the picture. And guess who Mara's hands are on, whose shoulders Mara's hands are on? I mean, you wouldn't know it to look at me now, but that is me. And that is my picture with Mara, because she knew my heart without my having to say anything, just as Baba knows our hearts without us having to say anything. He knows. And so you see, I'm just over being a teenager. I could be any one of you almost in 5 years, right? You're just young, 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 young. And so that's a story of meeting Mara. Any questions or any other stories you might like to hear about meeting or being with Mara that first year?
Did you dance for Mara at that time?
Yes. That first year, of course, my mommy was a ballet dancer. I shared that. And she had learned of Baba through Miss Krask. And Miss Krask had told my mommy to meet Baba, and my mommy met Baba in 1952 and Mara then too. My mommy met Baba before his car accident in Myrtle Beach and after his car accident in New York. So I grew up with a dancer. When I was young, before she had 4 children, she was still dancing. Not performing, but she was in classes, she was teaching, and I would go to the Metropolitan Opera House where Miss Krask taught classes. Always 2 or 3. You remember being that young? You can hardly remember anything, right? But I remember, you remember something? Well,
When
I
was like 3, I remember that when I went to Myrtle Beach, I remember I was just standing somewhere near a deck.
Yeah, you remember. You remember because of that beautiful presence, right? There's
I
Miss
just wanted to
Krask.
quickly, show a picture of Miss Krask.
Isn't she lovely? Now, this is before she met Baba, when she was still performing. And she has a very long story too. And there's Miss Krask later. It doesn't look like Miss Krask very much, but apparently that is her with Baba in the 30s. And that's her dancing again in the I'm guessing 20s, or before the teens. Oh, yes, it would have been the teens because she was with a very, very famous ballet company for a while. Anyway, so because I had seen Miss Krask at the Metropolitan Opera House. Now remember, this is a big opera house, and they have a big ballet company, and they have a big ballet studio. And above the ballet studio, it's so big. I even have pictures, but I'm sorry I forgot to get them. Above the studio is this ramp that went around the top. And as a little 3-year-old, I'm sitting up there looking down at the dancers. Miss Crass teaching. So what I'm saying is I saw dance and I was around dancers and I knew of dance from the very earliest age, right? Yeah. So when I got older and I didn't know what to do with myself and I was pretty good at dance, I thought I'll be a dancer. Yeah. But then Baba stopped it. Oh, stop. No dancing. And instead, he brought me to a much better place, Marazad. And there I am. I'm at Marazad. And Mara has been told that I was a dancer. So there we're sitting on the porch. In those days, September 1977, so few people were there. It was like intimate, like family, like you're with your beloved aunt, beloved mother. She's like a mother, beloved. You're with her and you're with your sisters and beloved sisters, you know. And Mara said, "Oh, I understand you dance." And I admitted it. And she said, "Would you dance?" So with Baba, with Mara, if they say, then you just get up and do, yes? I had no music. I had no dance in my mind, you know, that I'd been working on because I had stopped dancing, remember? So, but I do. I try to think of beautiful little, and, you know, oh, Baba from my heart. And you know, oh, lovely movement she might like, yes? So I'm thinking of these things and I'm trying to do them and I finish, you know, there's no music, nobody singing, nobody clapping, just going along. And Maris stopped and we would leave the porch in the morning and we'd go have lunch on the men's side. So it's time to go have lunch on the men's side and everyone's leaving. And in those days, Mara would kiss us each. Yes? Kiss, kiss on each cheek, yeah. She might whisper something, we might whisper something. So she whispered to me, "Come back after you eat to the house." So I said, "Yes, Mara." And I had my sandwich and then I went back to the house. And she invited me inside the house and I went inside. And if you remember Marazad, I'm sure you remember that Dr. Gohair's bed is like this. And then Baba's door is here and Mara's door is here. And right here is an areaway. And then a little bit beyond is a living room. Yes, you might remember that. And the areaway is big. I walk in, and on Dr. Gohair's bed is sitting Mara, Mani, Dr. Gohair. In another chair is Mehru. In another chair is Naja and Rano. All of the women Mandali are there. All of the Marazad women Mandali are there. And Mara said, "I told them that you dance. So you dance for all of us." Oh, again, no music and nothing planned. So, but Mara says that we do, and we want to. If you're in Mara's presence or Baba's presence, they say something, I hear it said that you just want to do it so badly. So to the best of my ability, I did a little this, a little that, a little this, a little this, a little anything I could think of. Baba, you know, Baba trying to dance and trying to dance, you know, this, that. I'm going along, and all of a sudden, I'm going along, and I can't think of anything more to do. And I'm going along, and I'm trying to repeat some things, and I'm losing my breath, and I'm getting tireder and tireder, and I'm still dancing, and I'm dancing away. And I'm getting a little breathless and getting a little tired. And I hear Mara say, "Oh, Viola." And I stop. Now, imagine this. It's unbelievable to imagine this because we don't know what this love is, this great love, this great grace, great graciousness from the heart that was natural to Mara. Of course, you know. So she said, "Oh, Viola." Now, if any of you sing or play an instrument or dance, you know the greatest compliment is that somebody wants you to keep going and going and going. You know, they love what you do. And she said to me, now imagine the gracefulness of this. She said, oh, she said, come sit. She said, I was so enchanted by the dance that I forgot the dancer. So she was also saying she was thinking of me. Yes? How beautiful. How beautiful. She was the most beautiful with Baba soul in the universe. So that's the first time I danced twice in one day for Mara. There are other times, but that's one. Any questions about Mara or any of them, or Marazad in those days, or the other Mandali, the men Mandali? Anybody you want to know about that I might know, have had little experience with, or anything else about Mara?
Go ahead, Manya. You have a question?
Yeah. I have a question. Like in the room where Mehra and all of those people were sitting, like how, like if there were like a lot of space, like how long did you like just keep on going? Like how long?
Imagine you just are a few years older than you are, and you go and go and you dance, and all of a sudden you get tired, and you keep going, but then you're really tired. That's how long. I don't know how many minutes, but I know it's as long as till one gets so tired. One thinks one can't go on anymore. Yeah. And the space, if you don't remember Marazad, if you have a living room, it's probably about the same size as your living room. We have a living room in our apartment, and our living room is about that size. Not huge, big, but not gigantic.
So it's enough room for you to dance and not bump into things.
Yes. So good question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question? Um, since I do have something that I've actually thought maybe the kids would be interested in is how you were may have been given a special permission. If you can talk about that story, I think the kids would really enjoy that. To kind of come back at a time.
Oh, okay. So, you know, Mara had so much love, right? And she loved everybody, and she responded to love. If you loved Mara, she responded. And she gave the love. Baba gave that love, right? So I think this is what you mean, Shilpa. I hope so. So, and if not, you just tell me. So, as I said, when we would leave the porch, Mara would kiss us. Cheek, cheek, whisper. And she whispered to me, as soon as you finish your sandwich, yeah, come back, but don't tell anyone. I said, yes, Mary. Quiet. Yes, Mary. So
Why was that a secret, Viola? Why didn't want you to tell anyone?
My supposition is people would be jealous.
Mm.
She wanted just to be with me. Also, it was her rest time. And, you know, the other ladies would want her resting. They wouldn't want her using her energy on these young pilgrims.
And how old was she when you met her the first time?
So she was born in I used to know, 04. I can look it up. But hold on. It was 1977. She was born in 1907. So she was just 70. So you look at me, and I am 3 years from being 70, 2.5. So she was this age as I am now. And I had just turned 20. So it's just out of my teens. I could even be here as a tween with you all right now. Then. So Mara had said, don't tell anyone. So I went and I ate. And then if you remember the garden, there are benches right in front of the porch. And there's one a little bit to the side. You don't see it directly. So you can be out of the way. So I quietly tiptoe back so nobody could see me. When nobody's looking, I go into the garden and I sit on a bench and I wait for Mara. But guess who sees me first? Meru. Meru, Mara's niece, who wants her to rest. And this is a secret, so Meru doesn't know Mara's called me. So what does Meru do? Viola, what are you doing here? This is Mara's nap time. Go away. Yeah. So I knew Mara didn't want me to tell anyone. I said, yes, Meru. And I left. Yes, you would too. So then, do you remember there is a little bridge, gate, and the little cottage. It's on the other side of all of the rooms. So I snuck around the other side, went behind the cottage, and then peeped around the side of the cottage to where the porch was, where Mara would be. And guess who was there this time? Yes, it was Mara. And so I walk up, and guess what Mara said to me? It was so beautiful. It was so loving. She said, I knew you would come. Because she had heard Meru scold me and send me away, right? I knew you would come. She had so much love. And I'll just tell you one other beautiful thing she said to me. I hadn't been there for some years. Yeah, I hadn't been there at all. We'd written letters. I have about 22 letters from Mara, and we had written back and forth. And so I came back to Marazad, and I go to the porch, and I just want to see Mara. And you know what she said to me? Imagine someone saying this to you. How much love? She said, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. What love, huh? Like no other. Baba, yes. Baba and Mara and no other. So, any questions or anything you'd like to hear about? Or
Managna, does your son have a question?
He doesn't
I
have.
do.
Oh,
yes.
sure. Is that Ralph?
What happened after that? What happened after that? Did you converse or spend some time together,
Yes, she would
you
continue
and Mara?
with Mara. Yes, she would continue to call me
Yeah,
back
yeah.
different times, but don't tell. And sometimes with other women too, and one other
Oh
woman.
yeah.
And she would feed us. In fact, the first time she called me back, I was so overwhelmed I couldn't speak. I was just, and she would give me things and tell me things, and I'd nod my head. And she would tell me about little household things and all about different foods. And she told me about cooking. And then she took me in the back garden and she showed me all the flowers and told me their names and what they were like and their properties. And I was listening. Yeah. But she would feed me. And she told me this, and maybe it's something you all can do too. She said, whenever you eat, because sometimes we don't feel like eating, but to eat for Baba.
Eat for Baba.
Yes, do it for Baba. Yes. And Mara had said that we would have tea, many of us. But in the early days, it wasn't many. It was just Mara would invite some for tea later. So just a few people, very intimate, very, very intimate. Nobody else there serving, just Mara and us, maybe one of the other ladies. Yeah. So, oh, it looks like you're dancing there. Lovely. Yeah, so Mara would say, they saved a place for Baba's place at the head of the table. Nobody sat there, it was for Baba. And she said, we always invite Baba to eat with us.
Mm.
So you can do that too. Invite Baba to eat with us. We always invite Baba to eat. So I remember that. And at the end of tea, she did it for many, many years. Many, many years. Many, many years. So at the end of tea, there's a big, beautiful picture of Baba behind his seat. And you've probably heard tell, but I watched it many times. And Mara would take her hand and trace along the photo of Baba. Just imagine Baba's picture here. And she would trace along with her hand down his shoulder and his arm. And she'd say, may we all be worthy of your most beautiful, precious love, Baba darling. Something like that. Different words.
Could you repeat that a little louder so we could hear?
So she would say something like this. The words weren't always the same because it was spontaneous from her heart. It was in the moment. She would say, may we all, beloved Baba, become worthy of your most beautiful, your most precious love.
That's beautiful. One question just popped into my mind because, we always associate Mehra with essentially like the epitome of love, right, for Baba.
Yes.
And because we've also heard, how Baba at one point, has gotten angry with his mandali, especially in the younger days with Manzil Ameem, right? Did Mehra ever get upset? Does anyone know?
Yes.
Oh, she did. Okay.
In the very, very early years, and if you read, you can read about Mara almost from her own words.
Mm-hmm.
This book, Mara, see how beautiful Mara is. This book was written by someone who loved Mara very much, and it was going to be a surprise for Mara. She would ask Mara about her life with Baba. She didn't tell Mara she's writing it down. And she'd ask and she'd memorize everything Mara said. She'd run home and she'd write down everything Mara said. So she made that book. So if you want to hear Mara's life almost from her words, use that book. I don't know if it's in this book, but there's other books. And there's the story where Mara tells the story that in the very early years at the post office, just these few women were living. Yes, and Mara was one, and she loved Baba so much. And Baba came and he was going away. And he hugged his cousin, and he hugged Mara's mother, and he hugged Sunamasi, and he hugged Khorshid. And then he said, I'm not hugging anyone else now. He didn't hug Mara. And she said she ran and ran and ran. Her heart was so broken. She ran and ran and ran. Yeah. And one other time, Mara tells of Baba being cross with her. And it was in the early years again. They were in Bombay, if I got my time and place correct. I think they might have been in Khorshid's house. And what happened was Baba would serve everybody their food. They'd come with a plate. And Mara was young. She was like one of the youngest. And Khorshid had met Baba before Mara, even though she was about Mara's age, maybe younger. But everybody would go before Mara. Mara would always be the last one with her plate. Every day. And one day, Baba took her plate. It was in his fiery years. And he threw her plate and it hit the wall and it bounced down the steps. And then somebody quickly gave Mara another plate, and Mara went to Baba. And Baba said, never be last again.
That's amazing. But did she ever get angry with anyone or show displeasure?
Yes. 2 stories about that. Okay. One story, I think she told this herself. Maybe Mani did. So imagine you have somebody you have to share your room with every day of your life, your entire life. You're the older sister, you're the older one, and you have to, show them what to do. And sometimes they're not catching on. So who was the person Mara shared her room with? Anyone remember?
Money?
Mani. So one day, Mara had shown Mani maybe several times how to do this one particular thing, and Mani did it wrong. And Mara was so upset. She said, Mani, this is our last lifetime together. When then, of course, Mara felt badly, and they would give each other little gifts. So she gave Mani a little bar of soap. She left it for Mani someplace, a little special scented bar of soap. So this I know. And one last story I know, somebody told me, and I hope they won't mind my telling it. I won't tell the name. So she loved Mara very much, and Mara loved her very much. And Mara loved horses. Yes? She was a horsewoman. She rode. Yeah, very good horsewoman. So this woman, young woman, she's about 8 years older than me. But in those days, we were all young. And so she, for Mara's birthday, drew a picture of a horse. But she didn't know how to draw. But she thought, well, it's not a good picture. But I drew it with so much love that Mara will just feel the love. She'll just feel the love, and she will love this. So she presented Mara on her birthday with this drawing she did of a horse. And the next day, Mara said to her, I didn't like your present. And I thought about that, because when we do something for Baba and Mara, we can't just throw it off, even if we think we're doing it with love. We have to do it with care, utmost care, to make it as fine as we can possibly make it. I mean, we might fall short. Of course, naturally, we're just human. We will fall short, but we have to give it our all. And Mara said that to me in a letter. I was just reading the letters for you all. And she said to me in one letter, I was in college, and she wrote to me saying, Viola, I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to pull out the letters right now. I have them right here, but I don't want to go searching, so I'll just do my memory of it. She said to me, Viola, she said, Baba would like you, first, keep Baba always with you. Always think of Baba. But be practical and take care of your health and do your studies and your work with all your heart.
So give it your 100%, huh? I mean, I think that's very important for any age, right? Whether you're a child or an adult. If you don't do something wholeheartedly, I guess you're not really, because if we do everything for Baba, we do it wholeheartedly, then you're pleasing Baba, right?
Yes. And even though, and I saw a hand go up. If I can, okay. Can I say one thing and then you go? Is that right? Okay. So, but even though this woman put her whole heart into it, but she didn't take the time to look and make what she was giving nice.
So perfection, essentially.
Not perfection. No, not perfection, but the very best we can do.
Correct. Okay.
We don't
so
want to
do your best with your whole heart.
Yes, do them both. Whole heart and your best. And hand. What did you want to say?
It's like I have this book and it has the story of when Mehera first got her horse.
Did you want to tell the story? Not read it, but just tell it to us?
Sure. Like before Mehera met Meher Baba, she always wanted a horse, but she never really got a horse. And one day, her friend Zena, she said at school, let's go meet Baba John. It said that she can make wishes come true. So like when they went, they almost took their whole recess time. But what they found was that Baba John was sitting under a tree right in outside their school. So they went and Zena went first and Mehera was still thinking what to say. And after Mehera, Zena was done, Mehera was like still thinking what to say, and she went, and it was her turn, so she went to Baba Jan, and she was still thinking, and Baba Jan said like, "What do you want?" And she's like, she was just thinking, and in a flash, she just said a horse, and Baba Jan looked up at the sky and she was saying some words really slow. So Mehera couldn't hear it, but she heard one piece of what she said, and it was a beautiful one. So like after a few days she asked Baba John for it. She forgot about the horse, and one day when she was just helping her aunt with her garden, she was like she just she was helping her aunt, and her aunt said, "There's a new horse for you," and like she didn't really believe her aunt, but then her aunt was like, "There's really a horse for you." And then when she went to the stable, she saw a beautiful white horse.
Beautiful.
And-
I just want to share a quick screen of you had mentioned like tea time, etc. with Mehra, so I found a picture for everyone to see.
Oh, and you see the picture of Baba. That's the
Yeah.
picture where
Oh,
Mary,
that's the picture she would touch.
she not touch, but just with her hands outlined where it was.
Oh.
The shape. Yes. And she would
Oh.
speak to him. And oh, this is true. You should hear this. This is absolutely true. Because I think Mani said the only separation between Baba and Mera, no, it was Mansari who told me this. The only separation between Baba and Mera is the thinnest veil.
Is the what? Sorry?
Thinnest veil.
Oh,
Thinnest
okay.
veil. And Mera and the ladies would come to Mehrabad twice a month in those days, and they would lay garlands. And that's Baba's chair right beside Mera. You see, nobody ever sat there. They always invited Baba. So they would go to Baba's samadhi, and next to Baba's samadhi, you might have been in. There's a tin shed, and there's a picture of Baba in there, and the stretcher that Baba's body was brought to Mehrabad on. Yes. So Mera would offer flowers. And one time I was in the tin shed while she offered flowers. And she did that same thing. She traced Baba's outline with her hand and spoke to Baba. And I was looking at Mera's face and at Baba's picture, then at Mera's face. And all of a sudden, Mera's face was Baba's. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at Mera, but her face was Baba's. I was so surprised. It's true. And then I looked at Baba's picture, and I looked back at Mera, and then it was Mera's face again. But that happened, and I'm not, I I was young. My eyesight was quite good. So there's the tin shed. I thought we're getting near the end, and I thought I might read to you something that Mara wrote. I told you she wrote many letters to me and some Christmas cards, and she would always include those who were nearby in the Christmas cards. And I noticed in the letters that Mara always said, "Dearest Viola," something, and then she would also greet my mother. Yeah. So I'm going to read this last Christmas card that Mara sent because I thought it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful thing because her words, like Baba's words, are true. We all try to say true words, but we're not one with the truth. So we can only do our best. But she is. Now, this is not the actual letter. I made a photocopy. But you can see Baba's picture there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Viola, is this the one that you had sent in the PowerPoint? I can share it.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. I'll share the screen as well.
Okay. And then I'll read it to you.
Yes,
And,
we'll do that. Give me 1 second. This
take
is the
your
one,
time.
right?
And then if anyone has any more stories or any questions they have after I read this, you just ask me, okay? Because I'm so happy to share. I'm so grateful to be with you because I feel like Baba's with us when we're together like this. Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, that's it.
Great.
So I have my mother's name was Ella. I have a younger sister. The youngest sister is Susan, and she had been to Mehrabad while Mara was still alive, 2 years before Mara went to Baba. That sister went to Mehrabad. And then I have another sister named Alex who went to Mehrabad in 1990. Yeah, after Mara went to Baba. So Mara hadn't met Alex, but if she had, she would have included her. So this is, I said that my dad's name is Peter. Okay. And then we had people who were Baba lovers who lived in our town, who Mara was remembering. So it starts, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Dear Viola, Ella, Susan, Peter, Mary Ellen, Patrick, and Pam, and all Baba's children near you. And this is for all of us. Your Marazad family wish you, this was Christmas time, Merry Meher Mas and a happy, Babaful New Year 1989. And this is what we can try to do. Mara wrote, always keep beloved Avatar Meher Baba in your thoughts and in your hearts. Remember, it is not the speed with which you gain your objectives in life that counts, but the time you spare and want to share with your beloved that really matters. So with each step you take in life, remember beloved Baba and know that he is with you, guiding you and helping you on your journey home, which is to himself, who is the source of all goodness and love. Your Marazad family lovingly remember you and send much love to you in God Baba's precious love. And that's the last thing I received from Mara. And one of the last things Mara said to me when I was saying goodbye to her, I didn't know it was for the last time, but it turned out to be the last time. One of the last things she said, I'm walking down the steps, from the porch. And she would be single me out, make sure I had gifts to take home. But she seemed not to notice me. So I was very sad. I'm leaving, and Mary doesn't know. So I'm walking down the steps. I get to the bottom of the steps. And if anyone knows Janet Judson, she was my friend. We were walking together, and we got to the bottom of the steps. And Mara said, Viola. And I turned around, and she said, I love you. I said it first. And then she told me things to do. And among the things she told me to do was to be happy. Yes.
That is so beautiful, Viola. When you were reading this, has this message been printed on cards and stuff? Because it sounded very familiar.
This, she would say, oh, and I saw a hand, and don't think I didn't see you. So after I answer, you go. So she sent messages around. She had sent one to Kitty. So it was read out at Myrtle Beach with this, not the top part.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Viola, Ella, Susan, Peter.
Yeah.
But and also, the handwriting you saw, this is not Mara's handwriting.
Oh, okay.
Because Baba wouldn't allow Mara's handwriting to go out. So Mara would tell Meru what to write. And this is Meru's handwriting, whose picture you saw, Mara's niece. It's her handwriting. Okay, and I saw a hand. What would you like to say?
I forgot my question, but I have a new one. So, why wasn't Mehra's handwriting allowed to be shown out? Why didn't Meher Baba allow that?
Because I'm not Baba, I can't really tell you, but I can tell you what I think. So I think that Mara was so pure, so precious, that say you drop something on the ground, so you have a letter, you drop it on the ground, that Mara's handwriting should be on the ground? No. Mara's handwriting should go through the post, stamped. She was so precious, so beautiful, so pure, and he so protected her. That's my guess. Even there was a time no woman could even touch Mara. She never touched a man, and a man never touched her by Baba's order. But
and
no
she couldn't
woman.
see a man or hear a man's name, right?
Yes, for a period. Yes.
Yeah.
And then even a lady couldn't touch Mara. So if people wanted clothes made, the only one was money. Money would take the measurement. Yeah.
And I think they had, when they were traveling, they had to put behind the dark glasses, like cardboard or something like that, so she couldn't see, and they had to hold her on the side, right, through the train stations and stuff.
They would surround Mara, and Mara would take someone's arm and be guided.
And I mean, I think for all of us, it kind of sounds strange to to hear that, but I think it's also the impressions, right? Like, as when you read something or whatever, it imprints on your mind, which is probably why Baba did not want her mind to be exposed to things that could probably, distract her from him.
Yes, distracting. Think of how many thoughts we have, how many people we've seen, how much they're in our consciousness, but Mara's thought was just Baba. And I wanted to show you something else. Because you guys are tweens. So this is young Mara.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah. Can you see? It's sort of, there's reflection from the.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you. She's just not too much older than you all, right there. And she was like you and me. What's that? So,
nothing.
she was interested, in the things she knew about the gardens. She was interested in these things. She read poetry, she read books, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 5:32. I just wanted to quickly, some of the other kids have joined that Viola, you may not have met before. But Soham, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself to Viola?
Sure. Hi, my name is Som. I'm 16.
Hi, so I'm so glad you're here. Thank
And
Nice to
he
you
meet
lives
so
with me.
much.
I said he lives with me 2 doors down. He's my son.
I'm so
Uh,
glad you came, Sohan.
Thank you.
So would I would love to hear you guys give some feedback to Viola, and what did you think of this whole talk? I know we focus a lot on Baba, words, etc., but she spent time with Mehra, so we thought it would be nice for you guys to get to learn more about, the most important women in Baba's Mandali for him. Who would like to share their thoughts first? Okay, I'll just pick on you guys if you. uh, Manya, would you like to go first?
I couldn't really hear you well.
I said, what did you think of this whole program? And then you seem like you have a cousin there, so maybe
Yep.
she can also share.
Yeah. So I really thought it was beautiful since we really talked about Mehra, and I really didn't know a lot about her. So it was kind of the best one I've ever had.
Oh, that's great. And who's your cousin? Can we get her name and say hello to Viola and the rest of the group here?
My name is Atya.
Hi, Atya. I remember you from before. You've grown.
Hi, Atya. So lovely of you to be here. Thank you both for letting me join you. So glad
Yeah.
to be here with you. So lovely to see you both and everyone here.
So thank you, ladies. What about Mehranshi? I'm just going in whoever's next.
Oh,
Would you like to share your thoughts, or where'd she go?
such a
Oh,
beautiful
we lost
picture
her.
of Baba
Okay,
she had.
she'll come back.
Yeah.
Manogna, would you like to share anything from your end with the boys if they have any comments?
No.
No? Did you like the stories? I'm happy to hear that.
It's so nice of you. Good to join this Teen Sahavas with you, Viola. Nice hearing.
Thank
Love
you for
you so much.
inviting me, you all. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you guys are so lucky to have seen Meher Baba, and their family and their love. Thank you so much for all your shares today.
Okay. Oh, Viola, wasn't your mom pregnant with you when she met Baba?
She was.
How many months?
So it was almost day to day, 1 month from the time Baba flicked my mommy's tummy when I was in it to the day I was born. 1 month. It was, I believe, around July 23rd in New York when Baba flicked my mommy's tummy. My mommy's there, my daddy's there. They've met Baba. Baba's given them grapes. They've eaten the grapes. They've been in the atmosphere of Baba's love. My mother's going there every day to be in the atmosphere. Big stomach, and so she's going every day. And anyway, yes, we were all there together. Yes.
So you technically met Baba.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Soham, what about you? What would you like to share from this talk?
I just thought it was very interesting to kind of learn about how the Mandali was. I didn't know they kind of like worked like so many different ways and things of that sort. Kind of intricacies of everything, how it went on.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. So, I hear you. Thank you.
Shrinika and Srinidhi, please go ahead.
Yeah, it was really engaging, like all the stories. And then I didn't know a lot about Mehra, so it was nice to learn more about her.
It's wonderful. I don't want to leave out the adults over here because we're all kids, you know. So,
Thank you for your
Shailaja,
sharing.
Betty, anything you'd like to share, Ralph?
Thank you, Viola, for
Oh,
sharing beautiful stories of Baba and Mara. Just loved it. Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you guys seen Viola dance?
Now,
No.
Oh my
I
God,
love
she's
her.
Viola. We're gonna have to get you back just to show us a dance at one point. You're just such a beautiful dancer, and definitely an inspiration.
Well, I look forward to seeing you dance and the children dance. I look forward to that.
All right. I guess this is it. Once again, thank you very, very much for, making this happen. It was just, oh, there's Mehranshi. She's coming back. Because I'm sure she'd like to share her thoughts. I want to give her an opportunity. Mehranshi, are you back, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Could you please share what you thought? I think you got cut off earlier.
Yeah.
What did you think of the program? This is your first time here, so welcome. Did you like Viola's talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to share?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Well, I hope you guys come back. Our next program is April 28th with Alan Cohen, and we're going to be talking about something very different, but also very important on the Baba's message on drugs and all the other things. And all of you guys go to school, right? And you've heard things about that in school, I'm sure.
No,
Even
no,
in elementary.
no.
Yeah. So we're gonna be learning about that. But going back to this, it was wonderful. Viola worked very hard with me trying to get this happen. Thank you for sharing all those beautiful personal pictures. Oh, I did want to quickly share one with your family, with your sisters and siblings. I think that would be. Can I share the graduation one? Is that the one where everybody's around?
Oh, the graduation one and then the one after with the girls, because
Yes.
the girls aren't in that one.
Yes. So this is her family.
So this is my brother in the middle. He became an eye doctor, and the woman he married is to his right. That's Peter and Jennifer. My daddy who met Baba is there. My mommy who met Baba is there, and I'm there. That's me. At my brother's graduation.
And this is the girls?
Oh, this is my family has a good sense of humor, as you can see. So that is my youngest sister, Sue, on the far right. That's my mommy. That's my pappy, my grandfather. He lived with us for some time. And that's me in the purple. But there's another one that shows Alexandra as well, and Linda, I think. But if we can find them so everyone gets a chance.
No, that says you as kids, right?
That's us as kids when we were like your age.
Which one are you in here?
I'm looking at the album, looking totally uninterested in having my picture taken. And then Susan in the middle, and Alexandra and Peter. But there's one with the girls. I don't.
Right here. Yeah, with the doggy.
Okay. So there's my mommy. There's Alexandra with the garland or lei, and then there I am in the pink. And there's my sister Susan. So three of us had met Mara, and all of us love Bob. And this
is with you and Padre, right?
Oh, Pendu. That's
Pendu. Sorry.
Yes, I think that was my second visit. That's Pendu, one of Baba's Mandali members. That's me with money. Yeah, money. Yeah.
And I think that covers them all. Oh, wait. This we have to show with you dancing.
Okay, this was, I would dance for Mara different times. And one Amartithi, when I was dancing, somebody snapped photos. So that's just one little time. I'm looking down at the ground, doing some movement. And I was dancing for all of the, particularly Meru was still there, the different ladies at Amartithi in Marabad. Yeah.
Manya, go ahead. You seem to have raised your hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I saw you.
My cousin had a question. She
Yeah.
had a question if we all met Meher Baba.
Oh, can I say I think probably. I think, why would we not have met Meher Baba? I bet we all did. And we just came back in these bodies, and now we're reconnecting with Baba. That's what I think, but I don't know anything about it.
This question has been raised a few times. And I believe, like, Shailaja, you can back me up on this, but different places. And I think people, to your point, have said that is we're coming back only because at some point we've had that connection, right? And especially here with the Zoom, the kids, right? You're all reconnecting with one another from probably a different lifetime, and so I'm very happy that we have this platform, thanks to, Angela, that we're able to make connections from all over the US, right? Denver and Connecticut and, New York and, Betty
Yeah.
all the way up in,
Yeah.
I think Oregon, right, Betty? But anyway, thank you so much. And Maryland, I can't forget Maharmanogna. We look forward to seeing you guys back on April 28th. And the next one is also May 5th. It would be wonderful. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Jai Meher Baba. And happy Easter. Betty, we just wanted to say thank you for joining. I don't know if she can hear me. Anyway,
I think it's
Jai
Ralph.
Baba.
Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Viola. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, everyone. See you next time.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Jai Baba, Ralph.
Hi,
Jai
Shilpa.
But
Thanks for
Shilpa,
making.
There's
I'm in and
Betty.
out.
Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Shilpa, I didn't know you were a Kalavapudi.
Yes, I am.
Who are you related to? By marriage?
No.
No, Murli is my dad's brother, my uncle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know Manjusha,
Yes.
and I missed an opportunity recently to get together with she and Merle in Austin.
Oh.
But they came for doctor's appointments, and there was very brief window, and I couldn't get down there. It just wasn't happening.